All right, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, dogs and cats, boys and girls out there listening in cyberspace. Welcome back to a Rising Star podcast. My name's Glenn Spillman. Alongside me, as always, is Carl O'Leary. And in studio today, who decided to finally grace us with his presence, is Quentin. And again, for those of you who are listening right now, we are going to go live on Facebook. And so if you give me 2 seconds, we're going to do that little intro real quick, if I could find the music. And so give us 2 seconds, folks. Bear with us. We're going to go live here in 2 seconds. Here we go.
What's up, guys? How's it going? I'm Carl O'Leary. As you just saw, that was Glenn Spillman. We have Quentin Harris in the back here, prairie dogging. And we are going to do the movie review of all 3 Tron movies. So you guys are in for a treat. Oh, we got to get adjusted here.
Yeah. For those of you listening, we're technical difficulties, but we're working with it. Get ready, get your
We're
mask
just
on.
guys in a basement here, okay? And just trying to figure this stuff out. But, welcome to the show.
Wait.
Hey, what's going on? Welcome to the show. We're doing a movie review on all 3 Trons. That's right, all 3 Trons. We're doing Tron Ares, we're doing Tron Legacy, and we're doing Tron, the original. And I got here with me Glenn Spillman.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, you know what? Thanks for bearing with us, for those of you who are on the audio aspect of things. We are now live on Facebook, as you guys know, and thank you all for tuning in live on Facebook and on air. My name's Glenn Spillman right here. As you know, is Carl O'Leary, as always. The prairie dog behind us is Quentin Harris. And today, this is kind of a special podcast, if you will, because normally we do a podcast that does the movie review, and then we'll do a specific podcast subject matter. But today, we do the special podcast that we put up on our sites and whatnot. It's just going to be a Tron trilogy, if you will, review with Carl, Quentin, and myself, and we're going to give a little more of just a movie review, more information, if you will. And before we get started on that, I want to let you guys know, who are watching and who are listening, you can get on Facebook and go to Serial Killers Movie group page. Start following us there, because that is now live. I mean, it's only a few days old, but it is the movie series that Carl and I are working on, and we are casting presently for our first episode. First season has 8 episodes, with the finale being an hour and a half. So those of you know, and we're accepting people submissions and whatnot from all over. I mean, I've already got submissions from Las Vegas, Arkansas, Georgia, New York City, several from Los Angeles, and a few from the Sacramento area. So go ahead and do that, because we got 17 roles that we are casting for. Some of them are main characters that are going to be throughout the series, and some of them are going to be day players and maybe reoccurring roles. But without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into the
Tron.
review. Yeah.
All right, so the first one I was going to talk about was Tron Ares, guys. It was directed by Joachim Ronning, and it was a 2025 film, obviously. It's about 1 hour and 59 minutes, and it was PG-13, for those of you who didn't know. The budget was 180 to 220 million.
That's a shit ton of money.
The gross worldwide was 142 billion 249, or excuse me, 142,249,984. Getting ahead of myself here. The film is almost like a separate film. It's a kind of standalone film that kind of explores who Ares is. You get to see a new approach to the Tron legacy, and it's kind of interesting because it still continues the plot. Before Aries, we were in a world of programming inside a place created by Kevin Flynn, played by Jeff Bridges. Now we're in the real world that was created by Julian Dillinger, telling a story about a character Aries played by Jared Leto, who is basically on a road to self-discovery and is working for Julian Dillinger, played by Evan Peters, who, by the way, is a fantastic actor. Both those actors, Jeff Bridges and
I love Jeff Bridges, yeah.
and Evan Peters, fantastic actors. And following his every command, basically, the story shows the difficult life of being a program known as Master Commander, or Aries, and what that life entails as a program created by Dillinger. Dillinger is the CEO of Dillinger Systems and the grandson of the original Tron villain, Ed Dillinger. He is a very spoiled young man with a lot of power. He treats everything that he creates as expendable, and he basically doesn't seem very likable. The film has a techno vibe to it, where songs from Nine Inch Nails are played instrumentally with a techno sound to give a viewer a sense of AI adventure. It shows you who Aries is as well as who he becomes from his decisions. Dillinger wants to use Aries as a weapon or a weapon of destruction or power. But Aries has a personality of his own and slowly finds out what he stands for. We get to see the inside Aries' life and whether he is going to be good or bad. There's martial arts and lots of action mixed in with the plot of the story to tell what Aries represents to Dillinger of the world of Tron. Battles will be had to fight for each side's objective to gain control of their future. And the red is the color of Aries and his program soldiers, which is the opposite of the colors for Flynn's creation of Clue, which is blue and eventually orange.
The psychology of colors,
It's different.
if you will.
It's like one is war, one is more like creative, and then maybe a little bit integrated into a war kind of development.
Right.
Which
Yeah.
would be Clue, if you've
Right.
ever seen Legacy.
Right.
This movie is a roller coaster thrill ride with Tron theme music enhanced by Nine Inch Nails, a techno instrumental. I really liked the film. I thought it was good. It was fast, action paced. There was a lot of interesting plots being developed. And I don't know, the integration between the realism of being on the streets, because they did film on the streets, but they also filmed the green screen or blue screen, if you will, to give that aesthetic of the two worlds blending. And so you can see from what it's like to be inside the grid versus the real world. And I thought that was done beautifully. I loved it. That's my opinion. What did you guys think?
Go ahead, pop off, Quentin. What do you got?
I think it was a really good. It was a great film. Honestly, I liked it, but I actually just before we started, I actually was reading why it wasn't received very well.
Because it sucked. That's why I didn't receive very well. That's just my opinion. Hey,
know, hey,
I'll
your
give mine in
opinion's
a
valid.
second.
Your
Yeah.
opinion is valid.
No, because
Everyone's gonna have a different opinion.
In the original, you have Jeff Bridges and then the original programming, and also too, with me and Glenn being screenwriters and also Carl. And also,
Don't forget our buddy Carl here, man.
Absolutely.
Carl's like, what the?
I'm just a small piece of the pie. Don't worry about me.
No, Carl's getting up there. No, but as a writer, like my whole thing is, if I wouldn't jump from one person to the next person.
Okay.
I feel like they should have stuck with one person. Like after the last movie, I would have brought him back in some shape or form.
Okay, so Sam Flynn and Jeff Bridges' character, we should see more of their story development.
Yeah, I would.
Is what you're saying.
And then I would have had Jared Leto in it. And also too, I love Jared Leto. Like him playing Joker was a different characterization of the Joker. Him playing Morbius was interesting too.
Okay.
But he knows how to disappear as an actor. But it's just as far as the Tron movie, I would have wrote it a little bit differently.
Okay, fair.
So do you think that it wasn't received well because people out, I don't want to say everybody, but a lot of people are purists and they have a cookie cutter mentality of thinking, not that you do, but they have a certain mentality of how things should be. Now, you, as a writer, you said, I would do it differently. So, number one, what would you do differently? And number two, why would you do it differently?
What I would have done differently was, okay, so I would introduce Ares. But at the exact same time, I have him cause havoc and take over stuff, and then the character from the Sam Flynn, I would have brought him back in some way, like a Neo type of thing, where hey, we need you back because you're the one who made a difference in the last time, and I would have had them to face off some way, shape, or form.
So you wouldn't have included this separate story. You would have kept continuing the story on Flynn.
Yeah.
And Kevin.
All right. So,
Sam and Kevin.
With that being said, do you think I already know the answer to this question, but I want your opinion. Do you think that the studios and the executive producers and producers were the puppet masters of how it was written?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Yeah.
What do you guys think that they went with the Tron Ares thing? Was that, I don't remember that being in any of the Tron series or continuations.
Because it's kind of like, Quentin said he would write it differently, and that's what they did.
Yeah.
They wrote it differently, putting their own spice on it, and now they're listening to, now this is why, I'm going to just take a pause for a second.
Yeah.
This is why that you and I, and Quentin as well, are independent filmmakers. That word right there is independent. We're independent from people putting their hands into our pockets and telling us what to do and how to do it. Because when you do that, you're basically, for the lack of better words, you're a prostitute. You're being paid to perform something that another person wants to do that you don't want to do.
Colorful language and definitions.
Well, I could have used a different word.
You're a prostitute, okay? Get used to it, Hollywood.
So I think that's why they did it, because Hollywood told them to do it.
Okay.
And when you flash money in front of somebody, they do a lot of things that they normally wouldn't do.
Weird.
Money changes people. I don't care. For the most part, I will say 98% of people, money changes. But a person I can think of right off the top of my head where money didn't change was Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Washington.
But as far as you're hooked on Denzel, aren't you, man? It's like, man, you're in love with that guy.
Denzel's got to go into Tron.
I'm not saying Denzel's a bad guy. I'm just saying that
Keanu Reeves is a stand-up guy.
That the reason why that they do this kind of stuff, to answer your question, very long answer, is
that's how we like it.
Yeah, that's not how you like it. Is the puppet masters, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, the next one is Tron Legacy. It was done in 2010. It was directed by Joseph Kosinski. It was about 2 hours and 5 minutes, and it was rated PG. It was a little bit different. It wasn't 13 for some reason. They wanted to go a little softer.
Yeah.
The budget was about $170 million, and the gross worldwide was $400,070,688.
Doubling their budget, at least.
They made a little bit of profit there. The Tron Legacy continues the story on the original Tron movie and shows how the descendant of Flynn is brought into the new world of the grid. Kevin's creation, Clue, is the main protagonist who is the villain in the story that fights against him and to try and make a perfect world, as he calls it. Sam gets pulled into the digitized world while trying to find his father. The film has lots of really cool lighting and various colors of blue, white, and orange as colors for the suits, buildings, and other structures that exist within the grid. The film has a techno feel to it that feels like a new age retro enhanced from the original film. That's how I feel. That's my personal opinion.
Yeah.
When I first saw Legacy, I was blown away by it. Absolutely. I was like, what am I watching right now? This is friggin' incredible. It was like on the same par as watching Avatar. When I first saw that introduction, no words, just pure awe and amazement was coming from me.
Yeah. Yeah.
The creators wanted to keep the original concept, but enhanced it for the newer generation. I remember it being quite groundbreaking, like I just said, when it first came out. You know, it made me want to watch the original film. Originally, when I first saw Tron as just like a trailer, I don't even know if I saw it as a kid.
Right.
But after seeing Ares, after seeing Legacy, I was like, I need to know more. And I suggest for you guys at home or in your office or whatever you're doing, you watch the first Tron if you haven't already, so that you get the full perspective on what's going on in the entire Tron universe.
You've got to start at the beginning.
Because I'll tell you what, it answers questions that you wouldn't have normally been answered if you didn't watch it. It's you got to do it. That's how I feel.
Yeah.
However, Legacy is said to be a standalone, so you could understand the entire story, but I feel like still you need that little bit of Tron in there, the 1982. You got to have it.
Yeah, and for those of you watching live on Facebook, feel free to comment and give us your, if you've seen the film or have an opinion about the film, go ahead and type in the comments there.
Yeah. And
go ahead.
Know what? All actors in the film, I thought they did a great job. Now, Ares might be received a little differently, but I'm pretty sure everyone loved Legacy. Because when that first came out, there's just nothing but buzz about how great it was, how groundbreaking it was.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking about Kevin Flynn, who was Jeff Bridges. We're talking about Olivia Wilde, who was Cora. Bruce Box-Leitner, who was Tron, and Alan Bradley, 2 characters. And Bo Garrett as Jim. Michael Sheen as Zeus. And James Frain as Jarvis. I mean, everybody in the damn movie was extraordinary. They brought this world to life like I've never seen before. They made it feel like you were inside a computer, and they were all programs doing something that they were programmed to do, and you were just there watching it unfold like it was a city. That was remarkable.
All right, so
what are you guys' thoughts?
My thought is a question.
Okay.
First off, you said that it blew you away.
Yeah.
You said it could be a standalone.
Yeah.
So this is an Oreo cookie. You've got the original Tron.
We'll go with the.
You've got the
descriptions. It's an Oreo cookie now.
The last
prostitute
film.
And an Oreo cookie. All right.
You've got the one in the middle, and that is the one that you open and you're licking it. You're looking at the center.
That's definitely falls in line with prostitute.
Yeah, it does. But no, what I'm saying is that's your favorite part. This is your favorite one. So would you say that this is your favorite out of the 3?
Oh, you know what? Absolutely. Legacy is actually my favorite. But here's the thing. I like Ares too, but I like it for different reasons. I like because it's a separate story about this character, Ares, who we've never seen before. And I like his story. And with Dillinger, who created him, the spoiled brat. I love all of that. So I like both of them differently, but my favorite is always Legacy because that was just so incredible to me. And to me, it was just like mind-blowing.
Okay.
For lack of a better word.
What about you, Miss Quint or Miss? Oh wow, you know, Freud.
This really turning into a dungeon now.
So like I said before, like Legacy is what what everybody's looking for. Is like basically it's your Darth Vader, Luke Skywalker type. Well, not really, but it's more of like carrying on the legacy of your father, and also too is like Jeff Bridges started the first one, and then now you have your son looking for you, and you're in the set of a computer, and you built all of this. And
it's kind of jumping around, is what you're saying.
Yeah, and
versus like Star Wars, which was just like going straight through.
Yeah, and so, but that's the thing. Like you started with this amount of money, and you doubled or tripled your income because you're carrying on. You're carrying on the legacy, and it go in Ares. I'm not gonna lie to you. I liked Ares. I liked Ares for the story was okay. The story was about, hey, how can we make fruit? Not in the beginning, it was like, how can we make some fruit from computers and technology?
That was kind of cool, and then the permanence code.
Yeah,
I like that concept.
Yeah. But I like I said once again, like I would have brought Jeff Bridges' son in Ares some way, shape. Like I said, I would have had him in that movie because, you know, if you want to double your money, you have to carry on Jeff Bridges some way, shape, or form. But like I said, like, and then but Legacy, it was I can watch Legacy all day long.
So speaking of what you just said, you said Jeff Bridges would bring in more money. Now you're absolutely 100% correct. And I'm going to just sidebar for a second. And when you're making a film and you're doing the initial production and promotion of the film, if you tag somebody, you know, we'll just say, well, Jeff Bridges, but now we'll just dive into something for horror, we'll say. If we tagged, hey, we got Robert Englund and we got Kane Hodder in our next episode. Just those two names alone is going to just bring a huge amount of interest from horror fans all over the world, young, old, and middle, just for the name.
Familiar with them.
Yeah, so when Quentin's saying, you know, you should have, you know, that's probably, if I'm guessing, I'm not trying to.
No, that
if I'm guessing what you're saying,
right there.
You would rewrite it in a way not only for the storyline but for financial purposes as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just like, you know, like, because for me, I learned story is everything. Like, because me as an up and coming writer, and also too now I can say I'm a director as well, and like I said, like if you're gonna introduce new characters, before you introduce new characters, I would bring in the old characters to kind of slightly pass on the torch, if that makes sense.
Yeah, because what they did with it when they rebooted it and they had Legacy, they carried on Tron and explained how it went into Legacy using Sam Flynn as a protagonist who would carry on the story and still included Jeff Bridges, who was like well known for Tron.
Right.
And his character, Kevin Flynn. So it's like you want to have those familiar characters in there, and they maybe it would have been better to do Ares with the story that they did, but also integrate into Sam Flynn and Kevin Flynn and all the people we're familiar with, even Quora.
Yeah,
you know
I
what
would
I mean?
add her in it.
All of those people probably would have made it better, and they probably would have made more money on the film because we're familiar with those characters and we want to learn more about them.
Right.
And now you're just introducing Ares, which is a great character, by the way.
And this is, again, where the puppet masters come in.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say this 1,000 million trillion times.
Please reiterate.
Is that's why I'm going to stay an independent filmmaker. Because, one, I have more leverage, more leeway. I can do whatever I want. No one's going to tell me what to do, when to do, and how to do it. And I'm not saying that out of arrogance. I'm saying that out of... okay, so if you have a father who is domineering and he's telling you what to do, and if you don't do it, he's going to beat the shit out of you. No. You're going to do it, okay. That's how Hollywood is. If you don't do what we say, how we say, well, we might just taint you a little bit. Or, no, you're a bad boy, bad girl, bad person. You got to go to the corner. We're not going to give you money for your film now. So people conform to this, and that is irritating to me.
A theme from you of like prostitution, Oreo cookie, and bully.
Oh, you're gonna love the next one.
That's what Hollywood represents to Glenn here.
Yeah. Well, the reason why I say it is because I've lived it. You know, I've been there. I've been in the mix of it, and I've seen it. And this is why I became an independent filmmaker. Because you know, the funny thing is, Carl asked me when we first started doing this serial killer series. He goes, "Dude, what happens if someone like offers us like, you know, 7 figures, you know, to do what, you know?" I'm like, dude, they're going to take over our project. They're going to change the story. Everything that we're trying to tell, they're going to be like, yeah, that's a bit touchy. They're going to change it. And if they do make the film, yeah, we're going to have a couple $1 million each, but are we going to be happy? Because what did we do? We prostituted ourselves to the man, which is the Hollywood. Yeah. So that's my little rant.
Okay, I got stories about what I got stories about that, but we'll save that for another time.
Oh, all right. So now back to Tron review. This is the original Tron,
the coup de grace,
the very first Tron ever made, starring Jeff Bridges.
Yeah.
And it was directed by Steven Leisenberger, I think is how you say it, or Lisberger.
Yeah.
Forgive me.
A lot of other films.
1982 film. It was about an hour and 36 minutes, a little shorter, and it's
Yeah.
a PG film. So they're both PG. 13 didn't happen till Aries. For
Yeah,
some
they
reason.
didn't have that kind of thing.
But
yeah.
you know, whatever. That's what they did. The budget was 17 million, and it
Wow.
doubled gross worldwide 33,002,372.
That's a lot back in
Bada bang.
1982.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot of cheddar.
That's a lot.
The movie Tron was very classic feel because it was made back in 1982. Clearly,
Yeah.
it had a vibrant, illuminated color suits
Yes, it
like
did.
Legacy, except made for the times.
Do you remember the video game, dude? Sorry
Oh,
to interrupt, but that's just
I
yeah.
have never.
How dare you.
Sorry, dude. Sorry.
Yeah.
I know what you're probably going to crucify me for this. I have never played the Tron game.
Hey, this is what you get sometimes, guys.
It
with
is a classic.
yeah.
It's
Go
one of
ahead,
those
buddy. Sorry.
Really weird old digital-looking things, platforms. But yes,
I got Tourette's. So.
the technology of 1982 was not able to create the visuals and costumes of 2010's groundbreaking Tron Legacy. But the story was ahead of its time, I feel like.
Yes, it was.
Just the concept alone, to me, was like, whoa, who came up with this genius
that part.
idea? Tron is a story about Kevin Flynn. He worked for the company Incom and lost his position with the company, lost his ownership of the games he created, and was pulled into the grid and forced to play the games. He then works with Tron, Yori, and Ram to stop Sark, Master Control, and Ed Dillinger. Edward Dillinger is the grandfather of Julian Dillinger, who plays the new villain in Tron Ares. They are by connecting the film's story, pretty much.
Oh, okay.
Ed Dillinger is the executive
That's
CEO of Incom. Might be senior executive.
That's. Oh,
He is original villain of the Power Before Julian. He is the main guy.
El Jefe.
Before him. Yeah. What's the boss that you say in Spanish? Is it?
El Jefe.
It's El Jefe?
Yeah, El Jefe.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
Okay, yes.
Have you seen Jurassic Park?
I wasn't really interested, like I said. When I first saw what Tron had to offer, I was like, this is too classic for me. It looks kind of basic. It's too old. That's what I thought. But after seeing Tron Legacy and seeing Ares, I had a different opinion. I was like, I need to know more about this story. It's got something I've got to learn.
Yeah.
I started to want to know more about it, pretty much. I watched it to gain the insight, and I gotta say I was pretty satisfied with what I learned. Jeff Bridges' character, Flynn, was funny and interesting to watch. He blends comedy with serious tone very well. The story explains everything you need to know about the grid. You might want to watch the original because the film will help you understand it all a lot better, and you'll gain more knowledge on what Tron is about, including the main guy, Tron, who is basically the helper of the first film. He is the hero, if you will.
Right.
So, based on that, what did you guys feel when you first saw Tron? What was your first thoughts, and why?
Go ahead, Quentin.
Actually, man.
The 1982. What was your thoughts
That was
on
like
it?
2 years before I was born.
Well, you could still watch it.
I've
Of
watched
course.
movies from the 40s, and I haven't been alive in the 40s. You know.
I feel like movies back then, a little bit early or late 1900s.
Hundreds.
I mean, okay, the like
Man.
1980. Like, let me put this:
Damn.
1980s. Sorry, overthinking. I can tell right now I'm an overthinker.
Okay.
The like 1980s, like between 1940 and 1980, I feel like it had a really good story and they took their time with it, and that's what storytelling is all about. Like when you just pay attention to the story, don't worry about how much money you're making, and and plus also when you grab and back then, audience attention wasn't like it is today.
What do you mean?
I'm putting this for instance, when you have Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, you have the shorts, and if the shorts don't grab you within 1 to maybe 5 minutes, you've lost them. Back then, I feel like our attention span was a lot greater than it was now. Because
Okay, what would you think about the film itself?
but the,
though?
but the, yeah, but the film itself was awesome. I feel like it had great storyline,
Okay.
great articulation of characterization, and it gave some depth into like. And like back, it gave depth of who he is in the regular life, and then all of a sudden it gave meaning to what he's doing and how to get out.
Okay.
And when it comes to like, all right, when it comes to films, it's kind of like the original, like an original film. It's kind of like if you want to think of it in this crass kind of way, it's kind of like your first experience, in a pleasurable moment.
Oh.
And you take that moment and you live in that moment. And if you have a secondary one like a sequel, you're always going to compare it to your first.
Like the first time
and
you
the
lose your
third and the
virginity.
fourth and the fifth and the whatever. But when you create a series, you still have that initial euphoric realm in your head, and you're just adding to it with the series. But if you do a sequel, it's kind of like, you're just introducing it to
I notice a lot of sexual themes being developed here. Everything I've heard so far.
So but I mean, I'm not saying I didn't, but like a sequel, but in a series is different. So when Carl first approached me with this whole Tron thing, I am a person that like to know the who, what, when, where, how, and why. I like to know the intricate things, but on this aspect, I picked two actors. I bookend them. I picked the main, the actor, the well-known actor, if you will, from the first one, and the well-known actor from the second one. Before the show, when we were prepping, I was asking Carl and Quentin, hey, what's the first movie that you remember seeing Jeff Bridges in? They both give me an answer, and I said, what's his most famous movie that he's known for?
Yeah.
And everyone, and even you guys probably am like, oh, The Big Lebowski, The Dude, So, but I was like, I always want to know, where did he start? When did, people always ask me, I've asked Carl, I've asked Quentin, what was the first movie you guys were in? And they were like, oh, well, I've asked several people, nobody knew this, but the very first film that Jeff Bridges was in was 1951. The Company She Keeps is the name. Well, he was a little baby, a little tiny little baby in that film, and that was his film debut. So his notable movies was obviously the 1982 Tron. That was his breakout film, if you will. Starman in 1984 was a bigger hit than Tron, in my personal opinion, because
that was a fantastic
it
film.
dove into a different realm, more like that kind of realm. 1995 Wild Bill showed acting versatility. The next one that I just mentioned prior has to be the most notorious to date, and one of the most quoted films, if you will, is The Dude. Mm-hmm. He did 14 other films.
You have to replace my carpet.
Between 1998 and 2008, where he plays the Dude. So 2 years later, he stepped into the Western world with True Grit. The next day happened in 2011, and then of course Aries but what a lot of people, unless you're a Jeff Bridges fan or a film fan or whatnot, what they don't know about him is more than his acting career, he has a singing career, and he had a singing career that he keeps flowing. Dude, he was just here. I saw him at the Harris Center in Folsom, singing. Do it with his band and whatnot. And he's a good singer. He's a good musician.
Oh, wow.
So he's maintained that parallel. So he played. So his Oscar-winning role was as a musician in 2009. He's released albums I mean, he's got several albums out. But yeah, best actor, for a Crazy Heart, where he played an alcoholic singer. So that is my little tidbit, if you will, the little nuggets that I like to give you guys. In there, and then Jared Leto. I mean, I like Jared Leto. Leto, and he is I would say, a versatile actor as well.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he's played both ends of the spectrum and in between. So the Aries film, the Academy Award winner Jared Leto, Leto. Some of his, if you think about it, can you think of another film other than that he was in?
Oh yeah, there's quite a few different films. Well, that one wasn't really. I mean, yeah, he did do Morbius, but that one wasn't the bigger ones.
He did Batman.
Yes.
but think in some earlier times.
He was a villain also in the film that Harrison Ford starred in, where it was like a futuristic, apocalyptic setting. What was the name of that film?
I probably know it. I just don't remember.
So I'm going to give you a couple more nuggets that you may not, like if I say this movie, you're like, I didn't know he's into that. So he was in Urban Legends in 1998. He was in Fight Club in 1999. American Psycho in 2000. And then the same year, Requiem for a Dream in 2000. So Dallas Buyers Club in 2013, where he won an Oscar for Best Supporting Actor. Blade Runner 2017,
that's what it was.
One that you guys may not have seen. Lady Gaga was in it. What's the dude? From the Star Wars franchise. He was in the House of Gucci. 2021.
House of Gucci. Okay.
And and then Tron Aries. So I like to give little bits and pieces of nuggets of stuff like that.
The more you know.
Yeah, the more you know. It's like it's the little things in filmmaking that I like to know about. It's like
absolutely.
That's why when we start interviewing people for our podcast, we're going to interview. We've got we're going to interview Kane Hodder. We're going to interview Quentin Tarantino. We're going to interview Robert Rodriguez, and all of these iconic people in film that how they started the little tiny roads in the independent people, if you will. But of course we're going to interview higher echelon people in the industry, and we're going to have producers on here and executive producers and the Hollywood types, and ask them, why do you feel you are the financier of the film? Yes. You do the logistics. Yes. You help the film get a running start and a finish. Yes. But we are going to ask them, what makes you feel that you have the right to tell the writer or the director how the film should be from your perspective? So those are some of the things that are in like this Tron aspect of things, because I guarantee you that is what happened. So that is my 2 cents on it, and unless Carl and Quentin have anything else to add to.
Well, I did have some other notes, but I didn't want to get too crazy with it.
Bring it. Get as crazy as you can, dude.
But it was just things that people probably don't really think of. And it's like, where is the grid located is probably what people are wondering. Well, it's different in each scenario. So in Tron, the original, the grid is located in the mainframe computer system of Incom. And it was created by Kevin Flynn within the Incom mainframe to prove that Ed Dillinger stole his games. The games were created by, the games that he created were Space Paranoids, Light Cycles, Matrix Blaster, and Vice Squad. That's the games that you see him playing in the movie, in the original Tron. And that's what he actually created. So he's living what it's like to play the games that he created. Yeah. Flynn created Clue to basically branch Incom systems in order in the attempts to recover that data about the games that were stolen from him. In Tron Legacy, it is separate. It's isolated. It's a digital universe created by Kevin Flynn on servers located in the basement of his arcade. So it's different scenarios. And in Tron Ares, the Dillinger Grid is another separate, more militaristic digital world inside Dillinger's systems. The grid in this case was a digital world created by Julian Dillinger, the grandson of Ed Dillinger. And some extra info from the 1982 movie Tron was primarily filmed on black and white sets and had about 15 to 20 minutes of total computer generated footage. Actors were shot against black sets with lighting, allowing the retroscoping glow effects. The approach was, instead of using blue screens, the filmmakers used black and white technique on black sets to make the glowing costumes pop. That's why you get that effect in the original Tron where everyone is they're just right there. You know what I mean? Everything's black, their illuminated suits pull your eyes in. And that was the idea behind that. Some interesting Tron Legacy info. The physical sets, major tangible sets, were built for the nightclub and safe house and Clue's throne room. Those were actual sets designed. Incredibly big, too. Nice. Blue screens and CG, the vast majority of the grid world was created digitally with over 800 shots featuring significant digital environment work. A lot of digital stuff was done. Practical lighting, actors wore expensive lighted suits that were $60,000 each for the suit.
Oh yeah, I remember.
That often provided the primary lighting source on the set, which is where later enhanced by digital domain.
And also too, to actually add to your tidbit, I actually read a document where, and I think it was in Tron. Yeah, I think it was in Tron Legacy where the suits kept losing power. And also too, like it was causing harm and damage to the person who was wearing it.
Oh yeah, one of the main actors, actually, the one who plays Sam Flynn, was electrocuted several times during the fight choreography.
Wow.
Yeah.
If you want to go through that,
and then also,
by all means, but
yeah,
it's dangerous.
Yeah, and also on top of that too, like so the suits kept losing power, so.
Mm-hmm.
Every single time that they would cut the power off. So that they can keep the power until they have to shoot. So basically, when they call action, they would turn on the suit.
Mm-hmm.
They'll turn on the suit to light it, and then when they call action, they would have to turn it off because the battery would the battery power would actually.
They only have so much battery juice. Huh?
So that goes to show you that when you spend over almost $200 million on a film. It is those things that should be thought of are kind of put to the wayside because when you're making a film such as that, you have to think of what could go wrong, what is a high possibility, and when you're dealing with electronics, you have to have backup plans. So when something like that is so such a problem, did they just throw it together and be like, oh, okay, and then they concentrated on other stuff? So those are the kinds of things that...
No, like guerrilla style or something like that?
Well, it could be, but it's also just a thought pattern of, hey, man, this is more important over here than dealing with the suit, if you will.
Right.
Because if I'm dealing with anything electronic, I'm going to think... It's like when Quentin was setting up the secondary camera here. The very first time that he did that, whatever happened, and what he thought filmed... He found out later it didn't film, so we did everything basically for, I don't want to say nothing, but what it is, when you don't
pre-plan.
Yeah, and when you're dealing with electronics, you have to double and triple check to make sure that they're working.
Before you do anything, you should always pre-plan and have your eggs in order, or whatever the term is.
Yeah.
Make sure that you're ready to go before it starts. Otherwise, you're going to make mistakes, and you're going to fall to pieces and get things screwed up.
Yeah. So, yeah, absolutely.
But anyway, filming technique. The film was shot in a 3D using space fusion cameras.
Wow.
Most of the film scenes were filmed against screens, but the filmmakers prioritized building physical environments where characters interacted directly.
Yeah.
They wanted to make sure that they had that aesthetic of being in a real world, so they built these structures for them to act in.
Yeah, and that that takes a lot of, and another, I didn't do this research, but another interesting fact of when you're making a movie, any movie really, but making a movie of this caliber with all of the fight scenes and the technical aspects of things,
CGI,
insurance. It's like I was looking at insurance just for our first episode, and one jackhole in New York tried to tell me it was going to be, because there was a fight scene in our they're like, well, the underwriters is going to be like, I'm like, you might break something, and you got to have insurance for this, that, and the other, and it was like $1,700 for that one scene, and I'm like, dude, it's a prop weapon, and it is out in an area where nothing's going to get broke, and so I explained everything. I had to explain the scene, and he's like, yeah, well, they don't understand. So if they're charging me $1,700 for one scene, I can only imagine what the people who made Tron had to pay with all of that. It's probably over $1 million just for insurance, which have insurance, that's great and everything, but it's just astronomical, and they have the market on certain things.
It's like, do you really need the insurance for every little thing?
Right, and they think, is the fall for more than 3 feet? Is how many times is it? So there's so many intricacies when you're filming a action sequence, that the people like the underwriters, they don't understand what you're doing. It's all they're thinking about is numbers and risks and this and that, and that's
like
just another.
Crunch out the numbers and figure out what all the stakes could be, and then when it actually happens, then adjust it to what the price would actually correspond to.
Yeah.
Not just be like, okay, now we're gonna take all the other precautions and you gotta pay for everything else. That didn't happen.
Right. Well, that's what they do, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So that's why Carl just mentioned it. That's why people like us shoot guerrilla style. We'll just go out and film. Dude, I've brought this up in another podcast. That scene in Rocky where he's running up the stairs, they didn't have a permit for that. They pulled up in a car. He got out of the car. The camera guy got out of the car. I'm like, okay, let's do this. And you remember that? You were there?
No.
I'm joking, dude. I'm joking. No, I'm just saying that a lot of times, even big production companies, not just us independent people, big production companies shoot guerrilla style because they don't want to deal with the BS of
or the paperwork,
the red tape.
That makes
Oh, he might trip on a step and fall down and hurt himself.
He might get a boo-boo. Yeah, exactly. All right, well, here's some other extra info, and this is on Tron Ares. It heavily blends practical physical sets with extensive digital blue screen environments. While large, tangible, lit-up sets were built for scenes, especially those in the real world or specific grounded grid locations. More than 2,000 visual effects shots were used to create the digital world, frequently utilizing blue screen and CGI to expand upon minimal physical foundations.
All right, so let me ask you this. Let's put a pin in this. And I'm asking Quentin as well, and those of you watching, I'm asking, like Gary, he's a film person, and let's see the other person. Oh, Darren. Hey, welcome, Darren. You guys, if I give you, we'll say, $1 million to make a film, would you rather make a film with practical effects, practical everything, or would you, since you have the money and you have the ability to, would you take advantage of green screens, blue screens, and the fake world of making a movie? I'm not saying it doesn't look good on film. I'm just saying, would you rather, so I'm going to ask you first, Carl, would you rather have a practical film or a film that you use a little knick-knack paddywhack?
I like the knick-knack paddywhacks. I like the blue screens and all that. I think it adds a different element to it. But you know what? The realism, too, like with special effects, is also cool. if you can blend both of those, I'm okay with
my
it.
head.
As long as it makes sense, it's cohesive, then I say go with it. If it doesn't make sense and it separates and it feels like it doesn't belong, then you got to get rid of it. That's how I feel. It just has to work together.
Okay.
If it doesn't converge, then I would say no, it's not going to work for me.
Okay. All right. What about you, Quentin? If I give you $1 million, same question.
You know what? Just saying off of what Carl just said, honestly, I literally would do both. You know, me writing, you talked about it earlier.
Yeah.
I'm consistently writing. Like if this scene doesn't need it, then right now I use it, but I would use an aesthetic of both.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's not to say that I wouldn't just use special effects without CGI or
Right.
blue screen.
Sure.
Like if it worked and I liked what I saw, then I wouldn't include it.
All right. So, Carl, when you're and I set this question up specifically for this question.
Yeah.
When you and I are writing, when you're talking to me about
Yeah.
a scene, what is the first thing that I say?
The first thing that comes to mind is you're always, the minute I have an idea and I'm like, hey, what if he wore this mask and he had this outfit? Okay, well, that's going to cost about this much, about $300 for here. We're going to need $400 for this costume. Let's see, where are we shooting it at? What time is it going to be shot at?
Right.
You're always breaking down the what's and where's.
In the financials.
Yeah,
so,
the financials.
if I gave you the money and I said, okay, to do this effect, you could do it pretty quickly, but it's going to cost you $50,000 to do this scene with the blue screen and the little white balls and the suits and all that. And it's going to take you, but if you do it practically, you could do the same exact thing. It may take you a few days more and in a little bit of finagling, but if you did it practically and it looked more real, if you will, than a CGI world, would you rather take twice of the amount of time to create something, or would you still rather do? And it's not like a right or wrong answer. I'm just getting your opinion.
I think it has to do with what you're trying to go for. If you feel like you don't need the blue screen and you want a more realistic effects, like maybe you just want to splatter blood against the wall, right?
Yeah.
For a head decapitation, then a shadow of someone falling. If that looks great and it pulls off your story, then I say go with it. You don't need the blue screen if you don't want it. If you want it to even look more, let's say, classic, and you're not going for all the special effects, and you want that sort of realism, but at the same time you want that classic nostalgic feel, then yeah, definitely go with the special effects.
Okay. Well, and I will capitalize and bring it a step further that I've also told Carl, hey, if we have the money, yeah, we could do that scene. If we raise that money for that scene, absolutely, let's do it. Because I feel that with, say, like a head decapitation, I've got a friend, and I'll name drop, Alan Carnes. He lives in Shasta. He made a head for us when we did a Raven's Cry.
I remember that.
And I took it to a bar one day, and I sat it in the middle of the table. And people freaked the F out because number one, it looks so real.
This is my friend Jerry.
It really does.
And
we had a terrible conversation. This is why he's like this.
I put the head, and people were coming over. They're like, "Oh, can I touch it?" Dude, I had to have at least throughout the time I was there, 50 people come just because the head was there, and it looked real. But see, I had to pay for it, and but you could definitely do a special effects head decapitation. But when it comes to something like that, we would. I would compare okay, for instance, you can tell, like, say, in Kill Bill.
Yeah.
Like when a blood splatter, you can tell that it is CGI. Can you not?
Yeah.
Okay, so what I would rather do is have somebody throw some actual, I say actual blood, but blood. And because when you see CGI blood, it shines, it glistens. Mm-hmm. It's very metallic looking. But when you do real blood, it's more muted, and just more of a lifelike.
One scene that comes to mind is when in Kill Bill, the person's getting chopped up and there's blood shooting all over the stage and everything. And
Oh.
It's coming out of the eyes and the neck and all this, and it's just like geysers of blood. You know, that part, you know, you could tell that that's not the special effects. That's just straight up or I mean, that's not a blue screen. That's the special effects they did with like a hose or something.
Yeah, one of our viewers, Gary, he says, I agree with Carl on this one, fellas. So, hey, and again, there's no right or wrong. It's a difference. You know, it's a difference of opinion. And I'll just take Quentin Tarantino. When in Dust Till Dawn, when Quentin was looking at his hand after he got shot, and he put the hand up and he looked at his brother through the hole in the hand.
Oh, yeah.
That obviously was CGI.
Such a cool shot.
But it looked good.
That was dope.
I will say that it looked good, but he was so detail-oriented and so meticulous that if it didn't look good, like Carl said, if it didn't look good, yeah, scratch it. But stuff like that is cool. I'm not saying never use CGI at all, but what I'm saying is when you use CGI, like for Tron, that's where the millions of dollars come in, because you have to have a room that's, you know, 100 feet, a huge arena, and everything is green screen.
Light up.
You know, every apparatus, a box is green screen, a ladder is green screen, the ground, the walls, the ceiling, you know, all that costs money. Yeah. But luckily for us, if we want to use a green screen right here in Sacramento, they have a green screen room. You know, but use your resources, folks, for those filmmakers out there that are listening and watching. You know, use your resources.
Absolutely.
You know, and but again, you know, when I'm always astounded by when he said 175 million. I mean, I'm always astounded by the amount of money that it costs to make movies these days. I mean, I know, like for a movie, I'm not gonna name it, but it flopped in the theaters. I'm gonna say it. The movie was Melania. It cost $40 million to make that movie, but here's where I think they messed up. They spent $35 million just on promoting the movie.
Oh, wow.
So that, to me, is a waste of money. And I told Quentin this just last week. The best form of advertising, you know, we live in a digital world. Yeah. We can get on our phone and literally in 30 seconds, we can make a post and hashtag it and flash it out. Yeah. But the best form of advertising is word of mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the best and the worst because it can go both ways, you know. Yeah. You know, word of mouth is kind of bisexual, you know. It can go both ways.
Oh, God.
So,
you know what? Actually, capitalizing on what you just said, Glenn, I watched Actors Roundtable religiously, and I think it was one of the actors. He said that you don't need $50 million or $30 million just to make a film. You can make a film for less than nothing. And and a lot of actors actually said, yeah, pretty much you can make a film.
Yeah, what was the Blair Witch Project? What did they have to spend for that?
Well, see, this is in my research, and I get the answer I'm going to give you from a very, very, very good source.
Yeah.
If you Google it, it'll say, you know, 50,000. It was done for $15,000. They used a camcorder that they got at a pawn shop, and so, you know, $15,000, that includes craft services, travel, gas, you know, just regular food, lodging, you know.
That's the lowest I've ever heard.
Payment, this and that. But I will say this, ladies and gentlemen, those of you that know me and those of you that follow us on social media, you know we make horror movies. And by far, hands down, without a doubt, number one, a horror movie is the easiest to make. Number two, a horror movie is the cheapest to make. Mm-hmm. So if you want to make a movie and you want to dip your feet into it a little bit, make a freaking horror movie, man. It could be 5 minutes. I mean, the first one I did was 17 minutes and change, Hush Little Baby. And the ones that Carl and I are doing now, the Serial Killers series.
Yeah.
We have each episode, we're going to budget it out. And of course, you want everybody to get paid. Absolutely 100% positive. Mm-hmm. One of the guys that's on the live feed right now, Gary Turner. I met him back in 2012. We did a Doritos commercial for the Super Bowl. and
Oh,
that's
nice.
that's where I met him. We've stayed in touch this entire time without fail. There was a movie that was being done with Robert Parham that is out. It's been in theaters. It's out in festivals. It's out now, and I think you were in that one, Soul Cage.
Yep. Yep.
So we were in that, and that was because of Gary. And Gary was doing another film. He goes, "Dude, I thought of you, man." And when writing this series, I thought of Gary. And funny enough, he texted me the other day because he saw the post on the Facebook group, and I was like, "Dude, I was thinking of you when I was writing certain characters, plural, not just one, for this. You could play, you know." Gary has a unique look. He's got long hair like me, and he's a martial artist, so he's very good at that. So I thought of characters about that, and he's got a certain look to him where he could play a few different ones. So, you know, oddly enough, on a couple of them, he could play more than one because some of the characters are made up or they have a mask or whatever. So he could play more than one, and he's going to.
I'm about to go.
It was funny. I will just say this. He read the first episode of the series, and he said something to the effect. You know, I don't want to misquote the guy, so I'm going to say what he said, and I quote: "Yesterday, this happened at 6:26. He's like, 'You sick fuck, LOL.'" And then he just finished reading episode 1. "I can see why this is going to be a series." And I told him, I'm like, "Brother, that's, you know, unicorns and fairy dust compared to what's going to happen."
Oh man, I've
You
been
know.
telling him that for a while. Like,
Yeah.
man, you got some crazy ideas in here. This shit is sick.
Yeah. And it's so when we're talking about, you know, why does it cost so much to make it doesn't because a lot of that's BS money, or hey, let's call on Quentin and go out to dinner. We don't go to Chili's, we go to Ruth's Chris and spend $2,000. And so
I remember I asked you guys this. I think I asked you guys. I'm like, "Hey, any room for a black guy in this movie?"
oh hey Quentin
Always.
brought this up, but I'm gonna call him out since he asked the question. I wrote a character for specifically Quentin. It was a bum. He was black, in fact, because he is. I mean, if you could see him back there, that's Quentin.
Barely.
But hey, I'll call Quentin out on this. This is for a different podcast, though. I wrote a part for him. He didn't like the part for whatever reason, and he turned down the part. So to answer his question, yes, I did write a part for a black person, but he turned it down.
Huh?
Oh, see, now he's got amnesia. So hey, he brought it up, not
I
me.
got short-term black men, folks.
But that's a podcast for another
Go to
day.
commercial.
But hey, no, we want to. Do you have other stuff to?
I was.
Oh
gonna
yeah, go
into
ahead.
this.
So we got a
I
little
don't
off
know,
track. No, go ahead.
It's going on for a while
This
here.
is a bipolar podcast, so.
So yeah, the CGI, to expand upon the minimal physical foundations, the extensive practical sets, many scenes that were filmed on large practical sets, particularly to give the film a more grounded feel, with some sequences filmed in Vancouver. So they wanted what it's like to be in the grid, and then what it's like to be in the real world.
Right.
The real world interactivity, actors wore functioning light-up costumes for the scenes, like motorcycle chase. The practical full-size light cycles were used. With some of the scenes filmed on real city streets to capture realistic lighting and interaction. So yeah, you get the realism, and then you get the fantasy, and hopefully they blend well, which I thought they.
Fantasy.
I think they did. I like both aspects, really. I like when you do that. You take the realism and then you put it with the CGI.
Yeah.
And if it's flawless,
Yeah.
dude, who
Especially
cares?
when
It's fantastic. Like Avatar, I think, is a perfect example. That shit was flawless.
Last Matrix film that was filmed in San Francisco, that obviously used CGI, but it combined both the real world of San Francisco and CGI. Yeah.
But my favorite part in the areas was when that big old shit was flying through the city. I was like, if only that was in real life.
Oh God, that thing was pretty impressive. The
That
U-shaped
was.
flying. I forget the name of it, but yeah, that thing.
It was
That is
massive.
awesome. Blue screen and CGI. The digital grid, such as the blue tinted Incom grid, used traditional blue screen work, where filmmakers built minimal physical or, in some cases, 3D printed structures to act as a base for extensive digital expansion.
Yeah.
The VFX volume, the film, directed by Joachim Ronning.
Words, homie.
Ah, man, I'm sorry. Contains over 2,000 VFX shots created by multiple studios, indicating a high reliance on computer-generated environments alongside the physical ones.
See that right there, ladies.
And I'm done.
That right there, ladies and gentlemen, is where he just said 2,000 video effects. That costs money. When you're dealing with computer engineers and programmers and this and that costs money. But
They definitely
again,
spent a
if
lot
it
of
can,
money on
if
that
it can be done, do it. But as I always say, on every podcast or every thing that we do, for those filmmakers out there that want to make a film, do it. Go out and do it.
Write it, shoot it.
If you want to start off with 5 minutes. It's 5 pages. It'll literally take you 1 day to shoot it. Pick one location, pick whatever you want to write, and do it. Edit it, do it, add some royalty-free music to it, and put it up, make a YouTube channel, promote it. And you never know who's going to see it and be like, oh, hey, man, that's pretty cool. Let's see where this goes. So go out, do your thing. I want to thank everybody else.
Thanks, guys.
I just want to say one more thing.
Yeah, what's up?
And also, true, another thing I choose to capitalize on what Mr. Spellman just said. To capitalize on what Mr. Spellman said is that.
Oh, now I'm Mr.
Hold on. There we go.
Now, there he is.
There he is, people.
There he is.
Now you can see.
Yeah.
You know what? When you have family like this,
Oh, man.
it's always good. We have family.
We just have fun.
These are not just my friends. This is family.
Yeah.
Honestly.
What are you, Olive Garden now? You're not friends, you're family.
Hey, why not?
Yeah.
No. Also, too, another thing what I actually found out also too is, part one. If you have just a scene can be like it could be either 1 page or 5 pages, and also too, start writing skits. And sometimes your skits can be from funny skits to real cinematic skits.
Yeah.
And even and also too, what my namesake, what my namesake, Mr. Tarantino said. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just if you have an idea, dumb, stupid, blah, whatever, just write it, shoot it, put it out there.
Yeah.
So, and here's, the easiest thing you could do to film?
What's that?
We could do it right now after this show.
Uh-huh.
We could sit for 5 minutes and create a scene. And we could be like, okay, you're this, here's the subject matter. And you guys don't have to write dialogue. You ad lib. Or
improv.
Improv, thank you.
Yep.
And you just go off it, because you'll be surprised, I promise. If you pick a subject matter that you know and a scene description that you know and you could, follow, you'll be surprised at what will come out. Have someone film it and boom, get it done. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you listening on audio right now, give us 2 seconds after we say goodbye to our Facebook family. Again, I want to thank everybody that tuned in today for the show. Gary L. Turner is a trooper. He's been on the show for 1 hour and 7 minutes, listening, commenting, and I appreciate you guys. And I bid you guys a good day. Have a good night. And always keep creating. Until next time, peace out.
See you guys.
There we go. So, those of you that are still with us on audio, this is a special podcast that we are going to put on our special area, if you will. But hey,
Get straight retarded on this mother.
every now and then, oh, you're not, no, you're fine. Every now and then, we give you little bits and pieces like this. And again, we are organic, we're chill, we're just bros having a good time.
Yeah, man.
This is not a scripted podcast or thing that we do. We don't know what each other's going to say beforehand.
I have no idea where I am right
He
now.
definitely doesn't know what I'm going to say. So, and but no, hey man, we're just having fun, and we appreciate you guys
Just three
listening.
dudes in a basement, recording some weird stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So here's what I want. You know what you guys could do? Two things. One, follow us on social media. Our Cellar 13 Films community on Facebook. If you want to follow what's going on Facebook, Serial Killers Movie Group on Facebook. If you want to follow Carl O'Leary, just type in his name on Facebook, and bada bing, he's there.
Bada bing, bada boom.
And Quentin Grizzly Bear Harris on Facebook. And then myself, Glenn Spillman. So, again, thanks, guys, for tuning in. The next podcast that we're going to do is going to be on who to pick on who to work with on any project. And we're going to tell you why and the ins and outs of that. Until then, thanks a lot. Peace out.
Holla.